There are many reasons why people read books. Some people read for fun, others entertain themselves, and many because they want to improve their lives. A good book could also teach us something new about the world and give us a new way of looking at things that we haven't thought about before. Writers usually do this through stories and fictional characters who go through deep psychological changes. This is an indirect way of doing things, but it leaves a lot open to the reader's understanding. Others just give us rules to follow if we want to find inner peace and live a good life. This one is more direct, but still effective for those who don't like to think too deeply. No matter what your style is, we've put together a list of 9 books that are sure to have a big impact on your life if you want to learn more about yourself. This video is a must-see, and these 9 books will change your life. Welcome back to Daily Dose. Here we bring you the best content on YouTube and also your daily dose of wisdom and success, which will help you achieve your dream life. Hit the like and subscribe button and join our family of successful mindsets so that you never miss out on any important video, which will help you become a better version of yourself. You can also follow us on Instagram, dailydose.101, and receive daily wisdom. Number 1. The Brothers Karamazov, Fyodor Dostoevsky. In a recent podcast, Lex Friedman asked Jordan Peterson if there's a case to be made that Brothers Karamazov is the best book ever written. Peterson said, yes, there is a case to be made. People call Fyodor Dostoevsky an existentialist writer. He's a master storyteller and a genius at creating troubled characters. If there's a common theme in his work, it's crime, guilt, and redemption. Brothers Karamazov is a murder mystery that asks deep philosophical questions. The novel is about a cruel and emotional father and his troubled relationship with his sons. When the father, Fyodor Pavlovich Karamazov, is killed, the novel turns dark as the main characters try to figure out who did it. The complicated social dynamics make this an interesting story because each character has a reason for killing the father. Dostoevsky teaches us through this dark and emotional story that sometimes our actions don't match who we are. When this happens, it's important to learn how to deal with the consequences of our actions, accept our guilt, take responsibility, and ultimately find salvation, not in some possible afterlife, but in this one. Brothers Karamazov is a book that should be in everyone's library. Number 2. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. This book comes to mind when we talk about the most influential books of the 20th century. Man's Search for Meaning is a remedy for the modern person and an answer for those who want to understand the meanings in just living. Critics have said that Viktor Frankl's writings are the most important contributions to psychotherapy since the time of Freud, Alder, and Carl Jung, and for good reason. The book is divided into 2 parts. The first part is called Experiences in a Concentration Camp, and it talks about Frankl's time in a camp during World War II. Viktor Frankl talks about his time as a prisoner in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. It was in these camps that Frankl found purpose and suffering, and had to change in order to survive. It's an emotional story that teaches us that when we can't change a situation, we have to change ourselves. In the second part of the book, Frankl explains the practice of logotherapy. If you're trying to figure out what your life is all about, this book should be on your desk right now. Number 3. The Gulag Archipelago, Alexander Solzhenetsyn. Spent almost a decade in Soviet prisons because he criticized Stalin in a series of letters he wrote to a friend while fighting in World War II. These letters were similar to Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, which is about a man's search for meaning. This book is about hard times. The dark side of regimes like communism and the nature of good and evil. The Gulag Archipelago offers a glimpse of the horrors that actually occurred in the Soviet Union as it tried to evolve into a society based on communist ideas. This is a book with a lot of emotional weight, and it teaches us that even the best of intentions can lead to cruelty, suffering, and poverty. a must-read, especially in 2023 when our circumstances force us to switch between multiple points of view. Number 4. Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Friedrich Nietzsche. Now let's talk about Nietzsche's personal favorite he ever produced. Thus Spoke Zarathustra was written in 10 days, in what the author called sporadic bursts of creativity. The book is divided into 4 parts and tells the story of the prophet Zarathustra, who goes into the wilderness for 10 years to find solitude and enlightenment. When he realizes his wisdom, Zarathustra comes down from the mountains to tell the world that God is dead and that his successor is what Nietzsche calls the Overman. It's not an easy book to read, but anyone interested in psychology, human nature, and the will to live should read it. Number 5. Ethics, BROCH-SPINOZA. A lot of people call Spinoza an atheist, but that's not true. He was born and raised in the Jewish tradition and educated in a conservative environment. But he rejected religion and embraced his own philosophy. In his book Ethics, Spinoza defends God, but not the one from the Old Testament. For him, the real God was nature and all manifestations of the natural law of the universe. For Spinoza, understanding God and life meant understanding the natural sciences. Spinoza's writings are a breath of fresh air for religious people, and they might give agnostics answers they hadn't thought of before. We encourage you to learn more about his philosophy because there's a lot of value and wisdom in them. Number 6. Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu. It's time to learn about Eastern philosophy. The Tao Te Ching is one of the most important books of the Asian philosophy. It is a basic, fundamental read for those who want to practice both philosophical and religious Taoism. The book can be read in one day, but it requires a lot of meditation and reflection on the text. It is a practical guide to life and, for many, the first step in learning to let go and find inner peace. This is a book that will change the way you see nature and humanity's position in the bigger picture. It's a book you have to think a lot about to get its meaning, but if you do, you'll know it was worth it. Number 7. The Secret of the Golden Flower, a Chinese Book of Life. Because we're talking about Taoism, after you finish the Tao Te Ching, pick up this one. They go well together. The Secret of the Golden Flower is a Chinese Taoist book about Niden, or inner chemistry, and meditation. It also includes Buddhist and Confucian ideas. It became a religious classic, especially in the West, after it was translated by Richard Wilhelm and remarked on by the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. The book is a symbolic guide to the practice of meditation that aims to introduce the reader to Taoism and help them incorporate its practices. A masterpiece for people who want to learn more about how to meditate and Eastern philosophy and symbol therapy. Number 8. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is the one book that will change your life. It's a personal diary that was never meant to be published. This book gives a glimpse into the life of Rome's most famous emperor. Marcus Aurelius didn't have it simple. He took over an empire that was on the verge of collapse and was racked by war protests and a terrible disease. Despite all of this, he stayed a true Stoic, a person of great virtue and godlike mortality. Meditations is written as a conversation between Marcus and his self-image as he tried to stay good and moral in the face of human temptations and sufferings. It's a book that teaches self-reliance and shows that if your will is strong enough, you can not only talk about your philosophy, but live it until you die. For most of us, Marcus Aurelius can be the teacher we never had. Number 9. On the Shortness of Life, Lucius Annaeus Seneca. What better way to improve your life than to gain knowledge regarding Greek philosophy? Seneca's most famous essay, On the Shortness of Life, is designed to convey a very important message. Memento mori means remember you are mortal. It's not that we have a short amount of time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca tells us to make the most of our time, take control of our lives, and live them to the fullest. This can only be done when we realize that time is our most valuable and scarce resource. It's not money or things that matter, but the quality and some of the experiences that make up our lives. you're sure to find a new way of looking at life. We hope this video brings you some light and a better understanding of the world we are living in. We also hope it helps you become a better version of yourself. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you liked this video and share it with your friend who needs to watch this. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on these important life lessons we bring you. Follow us on the gram for daily wisdom updates. See you in the next video.